Has Veronica Mars changed movies forever?
Ooh. We have a director for Jurassic Park 4, and it's not who you'd expect.
And the creators behind Earthworm Jim are making a new nifty game. It's going to be claymation of puppets.
What?
Today is Friday, March 15th, 2013, 31513.
Hey guys.
What is the last time it's going to be like that for the next 100 years?
Wait, what's the significance of, like, what's the...
31513, man.
What? I'm missing out on the joke.
Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day!
It's not St. Patrick's Day, and it's no significance. I'm making it all up.
Oh,
gotcha! Happy St. Patrick's goof.
Wait,
I got goofed. The classic St. Patrick's Day goof.
Before we get into this week's news, we have a few things to say real quick. These are very quick. First, we mentioned it last week, and I believe we actually posted it last week.
Yes, we did.
Mike and I did a full feature-length commentary on the movie Insidious. You know how he feels about it. You know how I feel about it. It's hilarious.
It was a gas.
Check it out by clicking the link down in the info. It's only $1. Thank you very much if you buy it. We appreciate it.
You know what else you could buy with $1? A candy bar.
Also down in the info are links to enter the giveaway this week. Of course, you can win a free shirt from beobscure.com, including this Hey Arnold shirt.
Oh,
boom. But the links are down in the info. Just follow the instructions. Very simple stuff. Also, we have the new trailers this week, so if you want to see the new trailers such as Kick-Ass 2 and Bada Bing, Bada Boom, there's a bunch of other ones.
What movie is that?
Click the link down in the info to start our trailer show. It's a playlist. It's awesome.
Kick-Ass 2.
And you have something to say.
He has something to say.
Yes, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the video game convention PAX East in Boston next weekend.
We're so very proud of you. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, you're still our son.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be playing Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs, and you're not.
Well,
now you're not my son.
You'll finally be able to touch Jake.
Yeah, if you see me there, you know, I'm not doing a meetup.
If you see him, you can touch him.
I'll be wearing the Pretty Much It shirt, and I'll be running around. Say hi to me, you better.
This week we had some cool videos. We had reviews of the Joe Schmo Show, as well as an interview I did with Chase Rogan, the Joe Schmo himself.
Journalism.
So special.
And a review of God of War Ascension, and reviews of The Call, and The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. And finally, along the bottom of the screen, is our Choose Your News. Down there, right over there, there's icons. Click them.
Well,
don't click them. No, don't. Keep watching.
Yeah, I mean, but they're actually, they're along the page.
Not yet, not yet. They're going to be along the page as soon as I say, let's get to the movies. Now it's along the bottom. Let's do it. Okay. Movies. Let's start off with a pretty common thing that we've been starting off with, and that's Marvel.
Oh, joy.
We have a bit of Hulk-related stuff to talk about.
Didn't we talk about the Hulk last
Yes,
time?
we did. We're going to clarify some stuff from last week. Because Joss Whedon and Mark Ruffalo have clarified their statements from last week about that, you know, Joss Whedon said it would be ridiculous to do a Hulk movie or something like that, or do Planet Hulk. Mark Ruffalo said there's no plans for a Hulk movie, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Joss Whedon has never read Planet Hulk, so he said it would be ridiculous to do, but apparently he's never read it.
Oh, Joss.
So,
you can just watch the DVD.
His reason for that, though, was that he thinks Bruce Banner is more important, like, you know, the audience connection, because otherwise it's just a CG monster. And I agree with this.
Yeah, if you just go to space right away, it's
because
just...
Planet Hulk is just Hulk.
Yeah, he never turns into a human,
right.
So it'd just be like a cartoon.
Unless they figured out some kind of, like art house way to do it. And Lee, I'm looking at you. As far oh my god, again! As far as Mark Ruffalo's comments, though, he wanted to clarify that he didn't say there would never be a standalone Hulk movie, which I didn't think he said. I don't think we said that either. But he wanted to make it clear that there's no plans yet, as of right now. So, you know, we could see a standalone Hulk movie after Avengers 2. I don't really know, though. It seems to be the same problem, though. They've never worked. You know, I mean, I liked Ang Lee's Hulk, but I get it. Like, most people just, they don't connect.
But as, like, you just said, like, the problem with the Planet Hulk movie, like, in the Edward Norton Hulk movie, there was that big CGI fight at the end. And it was just
nothing for me.
It was just like a video game.
Yeah.
That's like, it was just...
There's no connection.
No.
Yeah, kind of lost it towards the end, didn't it?
So maybe...
the whole movie, that would not be good.
Maybe, though, it could work with the Avengers, because it could go back and forth. I don't know. Yeah. But, that basically... Hulk.
Basically Hulk.
That's the story. Speaking of Whedon and Marvel news, this is really TV news, but I want to squeeze it in here because it's very quick.
Ooh,
S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, we get the S.H.I.E.L.D. show in the works. Whedon did say that Coulson is alive. It's not a flashback. He is back to life.
Okay.
He didn't say how or why or what, But at South by Southwest, someone asked, and he said that he is alive for real.
I'm just glad he said it.
Well, I think the reason for that is that he's now a Marvel character, and there is no Marvel character that ever stays dead.
That actually stays dead.
In the history of Marvel, I don't think a character has died and stayed dead.
So, technically, this is a perfect thing to happen.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the most comic book thing that's ever happened
Some
in the
kind of
movies.
science experiment is going to, like, zap him.
Yeah, what
I'm
do you think?
alive!
You think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I have
Science
no
magic?
idea.
The
Science
magic
magic.
of science?
Science,
The magic of
science
science.
magic? Together? Working together at last?
No, the magic of science.
There's a
All right.
magician and a scientist, and the scientist throws a beaker, and the magician
Goes-
yes, and then he
And
woke
then-
up.
And then just Clark Gregg standing
Voldemort.
there. Hi,
All right, welcome to the show. Hope you enjoy it.
this is S.H.I.E.L.D.
Joss Whedon's great director.
Now let's move on to Marvel/Fox news.
Marvel
because it's not
Fox.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's Marvel and Fox. X-Men Days of Future Past.
Fox roll.
Yes. Now, basically, it's not really news about the movie. It's just kind of an interesting little tidbit.
Oh, okay.
Singer, Bryan Singer, who is directing it, of course. As you know, Mr. Mark Millar, he said that, he's taking over, or he was hired to take over the Marvel Fox properties and make their little universe.
Like
or
what
whatever.
Joss Whedon is to
Right.
the other one.
But I guess just with X-Men and Fantastic Four, and that's it. I don't know. Whatever.
And what else do they have? Jake would know this.
Daredevil's
Not
gone.
Daredevil.
That's it, isn't
Not
it?
Daredevil.
I think that's it. I don't know. There's probably something else. But basically, Bryan Singer said, I've never spoken to Mark. Because Mark's always saying that they're trying to bring it all together, and he's like, he should definitely talk to me soon. that's what Bryan Singer
Like,
said.
not even by email?
I don't think ever.
Wow, that's
something
interesting.
else.
So, well, that just tells you a lot about how intensely they care about that. But it's pretty apparent from their previous
the
movies,
writing
I
on the
would
wall.
say, for the most part. Not all of them, obviously, but, in general. The only other bit of news about X-Men Days of Future Past, and this is actually about the movie, is...
oh, man, more news.
James McAvoy said recently that Alan Cumming would be back as Nightcrawler. Or he just said, we got everybody back, so-and-so, Alan Cumming, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
Turns out, no, that's not true.
Poop.
Oh, man.
He's not coming back. He's not
Shooting from the
coming
hip.
back.
He's not Alan coming back.
Was that-
Exactly.
Is that a reference?
Because he's Alan Cumming. He's not coming back.
That's genius.
Nothing more, nothing less.
But anyway, no Nightcrawler as of right now, I guess.
That's okay. Why would he need to be in the movie anyway?
Just to have a scene like the beginning of X2 would be enough for me.
To zip around.
Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like this movie is not the movie I want it to be. It's not going to be like
But it's
First
the movie
Class
we
2.
need.
No, it might not be the movie we need because I want First Class 2. This is going to be too much more. There's going to be so much more than that.
Let's move on from Marvel and go into DC. So we're
More
going to
comic book
Marvelville to DCville.
do
DCville? I thought it was DC Town.
DC Town.
Been in
Yes.
a DC kind of mood lately.
Good. Man of
Do it.
Steel. You pumped?
I'm seeing a lot of these test screening reviews, and everybody's saying it's pretty good.
Correct. Now, have you seen the cover of Total Film recently?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty dumb.
That's the one thing that
Yeah, we
kind
got
of turned me off.
Soups standing in front of Lois Lane.
Who is just Amy Adams.
Amy Adams, but she's gorgeous, so
it
I
kind
don't
of
mind.
looks like a weird photo you get taken at like Sears. Like,
The pastel background,
Yeah,
the dark
pastel.
charcoal background.
yeah, like one of those weird.
Hey,
photos.
over here, Clark. Clark, over here.
Like a duck.
Speaking of Clark, though, did you also see the low-res pictures of Clark Kent?
Low
what he
res
looks like?
pictures.
Very
No.
low res.
No,
Is
I
he
have not.
Cool.
He looks like John Hamm in Mad Men. I actually thought it was for a minute there. He doesn't look like a news. Is he the newspaper guy in this?
No,
Did they change
well,
it?
No, right?
He's
He
gonna-
worked.
he's
The
gonna be
Daily
the-
Planet.
The
is
ad
there.
executive now.
Yeah. I'm saying he used to work at the newspaper, but it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
look like it. Now it looks like he's like. Like the
CEO
the son of the CEO of like an angel investor or something.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't know. It just
So
doesn't
he looks.
really look
So
right.
you're saying he looks suave?
He's got like a suit.
Maybe what happened is that, remember you were saying that printed newspapers like wouldn't really make sense.
True.
So
You're right.
maybe
So maybe it's like the
not
cutting
newspaper.
edge.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's like a Wall Street investor.
It's future newspaper delivered by lasers.
Future paper. Oh my god.
Bam.
Well, I'll have to look into that. Maybe it was just some kind of weird
They're
promo
blinded
shot.
by his expensive suit. They're
Yeah,
like,
maybe it's
"That's not
the
Superman."
suit. They're like, what are you wearing? Krypton. Let's move on from comic books into other things.
Other things. That's what our show is all about. Comic books and other things.
Kickstarter. Ever heard of it?
Oh yeah, I have.
Now, have you ever backed anything on it?
Yes, I have.
As
Yeah,
have
me too.
I backed
I love
the Double Fine game.
Ooh, very nice.
I backed many a video game, a couple toy things.
And I've backed many a film.
Many a film.
Veronica Mars took to Kickstarter to raise money for a movie because this show ran from 2004 to 2007. So I guess it's the whole cast. I've never seen the show.
Apparently everybody loved it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, apparently they're in what, the show itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I've heard of it only by name, but I don't even know what it is.
I completely forget all existence of this show.
You never even heard of it?
What channel was it on?
I have no idea.
Like what kind of station? Like,
Channel Uranus. Because Mars. I'm sorry.
Space.
I'm sorry.
Space. Lasers. Space.
What
Lasers.
does
and
Uranus
science.
have to do with Mars? They're planets? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Now you're getting it.
Now you're getting it.
Now you understand.
All right, but apparently it's a very popular show though among its fans. I mean, it's like, you know, they've got diehard fans, and it kind of actually feels almost like the way people feel about Whedon shows. That's like the vibe I get from it.
This is how the Firefly movie was made.
Right.
This was before Kickstarter,
Right.
but all their fans took to the internet and they were able to produce
Demand
the
it,
movie,
sort of. In this case, $2 million was the required amount on the Kickstarter, and I saw it right when it launched, and I was like, I'm sure it'll hit this very soon. I was thinking, it'll definitely hit this in a couple of days. 11 hours later, it hit $2 million.
And counting.
Are you kidding me? And counting. It's got 30 days to go.
Yeah.
It's not the most funded campaign yet because there's been a $10 million one, but it has 30 days to go, so I'm sure it'll get a ton more money because it hit $2 million in 11 hours, but it's like, you know, it's still going.
Doesn't Kickstarter take a big chunk?
Well, yeah, they do, but I mean, that's going to be with anything you do.
Do you think the people who made Kickstarter ever dreamed that there would be multi-million-dollar products like funded on their site?
Dreamed, probably. Planned for? I don't know, but I'm sure
It's
they
like,
dreamed about it.
They just got to be laughing every single day. It's going, "Ah, we're rich!"
It's a really big deal, though, just because it shows how powerful Kickstarter is. I don't want to say it's like a revolution, but it kind of is for movies, like it kind of was for games.
No, it absolutely is, because here's the deal. In case you don't know, I mean, I looked into it, and I've heard about this thing before. Warner Brothers, I believe it's Warner Brothers, they didn't want to fund the movie. They've tried to make this movie many times.
Oh, wow.
What the hell's the show called? Veronica Mars. I'm looking for the name in my head. They've wanted to make a Veronica Mars movie for a while. I mean, the people that make the show, including Kristen Bell, and WB always said no, they don't want to fund it. So now WB has agreed to distribute and market it.
Well, now that they got their attention.
Yeah, right? Yeah, they really got their attention. But that says a lot about any movie that ever wants to get made. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine
There's a market.
Imagine in the future, like 20 years from now, like every big blockbuster movie like is funded on the internet. So it's like everybody kind of like pitches in for the movie.
That's so cool.
But then the
That's
problem is
like-
that the return should not go to the studio. Because then the studio's putting nothing out and getting money in
This
return.
is the issue some people have with
Yes, this is the
Kickstarter,
issue.
is that you're essentially a shareholder, stakeholder type of person, but you don't reap any benefits
Correct.
other than...
You're not. No, you're not. You're not at all a shareholder. It's
Except-
very specifically in the guidelines of Kickstarter that you don't own anything.
But I see so many people who consider themselves to be.
Well,
and
they're
like
assholes,
entitled.
and they should read the terms of service. But I mean, I get what you're saying though. It's not so much that I think that the Kickstarter people deserve something. I just think that WB deserves nothing in that case. You know what I mean? I mean, they are distributing and marketing it, so obviously they deserve some sort of return, but they definitely shouldn't reap all the benefits.
Well, to distribute, that's a lot of money.
Correct.
That's a lot of
Well,
money.
unless of course you just do what anybody could do is video on demand.
Yeah,
then they could do
too.
it all themselves.
Kevin Smith did the thing with Red State where he
Took
just
it on
toured
tour.
himself.
So
he
there's
paid nothing.
Many ways to do this now. You know, it's just very interesting, and I feel like this has kind of, we've known about this. You've all known about these different avenues for people to fund things and watch things and stuff like that. But I feel like, Hollywood, got the message this week. I really feel like this was finally the thing that's going to kind of be like a tipping point. I really feel like we're going to see a lot more interesting stuff like this within the next few months in terms of films and stuff like that. I feel like this is really a huge deal.
I have a thought that it might be bad for someone really high-ranking in the movie business. Like, it's got to be bad for someone.
So they're going to be angry.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, and that's great. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it is great.
Yes.
But what I'm thinking is that people with that kind of power, they could maybe kibosh this whole idea.
No,
somehow.
how? Well, I guess
There's
yes.
some powerful folks.
Somehow, you're right. Yeah.
The really interesting thing is going to be, like, yes, there's enough people to fund it and that are excited about it, but is that enough to save it when it hits the movie theater? Or is it just going to flop?
I look at it as eventually it could be the reverse of how we buy movie tickets now. You buy a movie ticket after the movie's made. Now, you would buy the movie ticket, and months later the movie would come out and you would see it without having to pay because you already have your ticket.
That's pretty
Because you
cool.
paid for it up front. Because think about it, the movies cost what, let's say like $200 million to make, and then it makes back, let's say $400 million. You know, a good movie, obviously, that gets money back. You would be paying up front $400 million. The movie could potentially then be made for half that, half what you made.
Yeah,
So,
but then
I don't know,
they'll
it's
be-
interesting
That's-
stuff.
They might
Good.
lose some ticket sales from that, though.
People wouldn't get it, you're saying? They probably wouldn't get it right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think in time that could be...
In
that
times, people need to
Yeah.
kind of get on the level of
would-
everyone
yeah,
else.
I don't think that level's going to be anywhere near the next... I mean, maybe in the next
No.
10 years.
Maybe. Oh, man, I hope it's sooner than that. I like to think that society is keeping up somewhat to our tier of... We're like, who are we? And we get it. You know what I mean? We get it. Why can't everybody else get it?
Yeah,
just-
2020 is going to be awesome. Can you imagine, like, the iPhone 20 is out, and it's like a hologram?
Lasers.
And
Blazers?
Blazers with lasers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dangerous.
Anyway, I have no idea what we're even talking about anymore, but I think this whole
I
turned
have
into a
no
big
idea
tangent.
what my life is.
But you know what? Let's talk about something very specific.
Okay.
And that is Jurassic Park 4.
Ooh, the
I even said it with a fancy voice.
fourth dinosaur film.
Yes. A fortnight ago, we
There's
heard
no instrument there.
word about Jurassic Park 4.
What, excuse me?
A while ago.
Do explain, good
2
sir.
weeks is a fortnight, but really it was a while ago. We heard that Jurassic Park 4 was in the works.
Okay.
And
You just said that.
now we have a director for Jurassic Park 4.
Ooh, what big news.
It's not Steven Spielberg.
It is not. We discussed that already.
It is, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, Colin Trevorrow. Do you know who this is?
This is big news for Eric.
I know because you told me.
The
not-
director of Safety Not Guaranteed, my #1 movie of 2012.
Eric's face exploded when we.
He actually ran away and like giggled, hee hee,
Like
Yeah,
a...
like a leprechaun.
That's what he said.
That actually happened 100%.
He
Yeah.
said,
Jake
you
said-
just ran away like a leprechaun, and we questioned, what does that mean?
And Jake had no good
Gotta
answer
get
for
the
it.
goal. I don't know.
As much as I loved Safety Not Guaranteed, and I'm sure you guys liked it too.
I liked
I don't
it.
know if you loved it like I did.
I didn't love it.
You didn't see it, did you?
I did end up.
You
seeing
did?
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
It was cool.
Jurassic Park 4. Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's quite a movie to helm. But
What
you know
else
what?
has he
Then
directed?
again, that's happened multiple times recently. Like a small time guy.
Like
500
James
days
Gunn.
of Summoner. 500
500 Days of Sumner.
Summoner!
Yes, exactly.
Mark Webb went from 500 Days of Summer to The Amazing Spider-Man.
Correct.
So-
And I mean, as much as we feel things about the movie, I don't think anything was his fault. I think he did a fine job.
And
So-
James Gunn doing Guardians
right.
of the Galaxy.
Yes, so there's a lot of that going on. I'm digging it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's it's been like a big turnaround the past couple. I think from the Avengers. I think Joss Whedon directing the Avengers kind of like
That was a
snapped
big.
everybody out
Get
of
the
it.
cool
like,
guys to do stuff.
wait a minute, if we got people who know what they're doing to write our movies, they will be successful again.
Right, people that are good with smaller movies, but then with a team that can help make a huge movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and it's so far been
Successful.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, it's Jurassic Park 4. Those are
Yeah.
first movies. Well, aside from the fact that Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah,
is
Amazing
a
Spider-Man.
remake.
Fist. You, that didn't work. Sorry.
Even if they were rebooting Jurassic Park, it would be a little bit more like, okay, so it's his take on it. Now it's going to be like, it kind of has to fit into a universe that already exists. So it's a little different than the previous ones,
Yeah.
but it's certainly interesting. That's for sure. And I mean, I did love Safety Not Guaranteed. There were some sci-fi elements that had to be handled in that small movie, so this is a little different, but
Yeah, this
Way
is
different.
Different doesn't even begin to describe
great
it. He has
character
to-
stuff, though. He was great with characters, so maybe it'll actually have, some
I
kind
know.
of
What
emotional
was
depth to it.
Jurassic Park ever about the characters?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Really?
Maybe now they can add some, element that you can get attached to.
Like,
that.
oh my god, how do I feel about dinosaurs?
I want to see the guy from Seinfeld get eaten by the dinosaur. Just rewatch that over and over.
Nedry?
That's pretty specific.
I know all the names of the characters.
Speaking of fourth movies in a series,
Oh, we're all about fours. What do you call those? Three is a trilogy. What do you call four?
quadrilogy?
Too much.
Quadrilogy?
I like that answer.
Too much
I like
is
that
right.
Answer. Jake, you just said a really cool thing. I'm gonna remember that.
Maybe
forever.
not for this.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin
Evil
it.
Dead. 4. We got word that Sam Raimi is working on Evil Dead 4, and obviously it's from the original Evil Dead, not from the new Evil Dead, because they would go from Evil Dead to Evil Dead 4. That wouldn't make any sense. Although, side note, they are working on a sequel to that already. So there's a whole lot of Evil Dead going on.
Two Evil Deads, and they're called the exact same thing.
Evil Dead 4, it turns out, will actually be Army of Darkness 2 specifically. So it's not part of Evil Dead so much, even though it obviously is part of the whole Evil Dead universe. Army of Darkness was considerably different.
You know what reminds me of something we just talked about earlier in this show? I would think this Army of Darkness 2 thing would be the perfect thing for like a Kickstarter thing, because it's such a huge cult following.
And you know what? I don't think they've actually completely signed off on making it yet. I think Sam Raimi's working on it.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Raimi has the money.
Anything.
Right.
I'm working on RoboCop 5, but you don't see
it's not going to happen though.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you doing for RoboCop? Are you writing it?
Yeah.
Are you RoboCop?
No.
Who is RoboCop?
I'm lead writer.
Who is RoboCop?
Christopher Walken. He's older. It's like a.
That's a good one. I like that.
RoboCop ages.
Is that the title?
Robo.
Yes. Robold.
Robold.
Oh my god. But that's it for Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. We'll see what happens with that. We do have one more fourth in the series story.
Oh my god.
I know, one more.
This episode
is this 4 4s? Is there 4 things we talked about?
3.
Damn.
Right?
Damn, that would have been
Maybe
great.
there's more, I don't know. This one is actually Transformers 4. Transformers!
Are they
didn't
call
do
it
that.
that?
No, they
Okay,
didn't.
no.
But I
wish
think
they
they
did.
probably will in the end. But
oh, God.
This is a quick little thing, and it's really just because I knew you guys would appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, this is funny.
This is hilarious. So an interviewer was asking Mark Wahlberg about the movie, because of course he's starring in it, and they were like, what's the tone going to be like? And he was like, well, it's going to be different from the last ones, whatever, it's going to be a little different. And the interviewer said, would you say darker and grittier? And he goes, yeah, you're kind of on the right track.
He has confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, that Transformers 4 is going to be dark and gritty.
literally darker and grittier.
Thank you, Marky Mark. You're writing our jokes for us.
I think Optimus Prime is going to, cross the line and, murder humans. He'd be like, I can't take it anymore, and he stomps around New York. Yeah,
he's like,
people.
I don't need you to survive, but I don't care.
I want to see him eat Tyrese and Josh Doom.
That's how they get rid of LaBouffe. He's like,
No. And finally, we want to go out on a high note, and this is a pretty big high note.
Oh, I love pretty big high
That's
notes.
cool.
That's a good thing.
Mickey Mouse.
Has returneth.
I thought if I said it 3 times he'd appear, but that's Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
I'm
close.
sorry, I messed up. But
Close.
Mickey Mouse has a new short film.
Short cartoon.
He made a film. Mickey Mouse has a short, I guess you would call it, right?
The first in a very long series.
A series of 19,
19
which really
shorts,
drives me crazy.
That's over an
why not
hour
just make
long,
20,
though.
But why not make 20?
Yeah.
19. Come on, even if it was a throwaway, just please.
Just release the bloopers.
Yeah.
Well, it's because Walt Disney was a communist, and communists don't like odd numbers.
Well, then why would they go with 19? You just lied yourself into a corner
I don't know math.
for the sake of a joke.
I don't know math.
I had no idea that
Also,
Walt Disney was into
not.
Well, thank you, Jake.
I think he...
So everything was a lie.
Yeah, the entire thing I made up.
Paul Ruddish is involved in some way.
And what has he done?
He worked on Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls.
I would say you can definitely tell. You can see it. It looks like that kind of style.
It's great.
It works. It's so great. It's so fun. It's so...
It's a cartoon. It's like real cartoon. I haven't seen.
I mean, it's not hand drawn, but it's still it doesn't matter.
It's digital, but
the most important thing really is that it's got the charm and the heart that you want to see in these types of things. So even though it's not hand drawn, it still has that feeling to it. So it's okay.
A charm that hasn't been felt for decades. It feels like an old Disney cartoon.
It's not huge in story.
No.
If anything, it's very simple. But you got to keep in mind these things really aren't for adults technically.
Yeah.
We just appreciate them because it's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but it's still a fun cartoon.
Yes.
It's like the whole way they're presenting these is that it's going to be 19 shorts.
Yes.
And each one is a different nationality and country.
Wait.
The first one is French.
Right.
Everybody's speaking French.
I think it was very cool that the whole thing was in French. I was
Yes.
what? Oh, cool.
But in New York, they're going to do
I can't wait
Tokyo
for
and
them to
stuff
do
like
a
that.
New
They're going to do
York
everything.
It's in French, but you get the story whether or not they're speaking English.
That's the most important part. There's no subtitles.
Yeah, there's no subtitles.
That's the whole most important thing is that you get it without knowing what they're saying.
Yeah, that's like a cartoon doing its job.
Do you think they'll do stylistic shakeups for each culture?
That
Because that could be very cool for like Tokyo.
I would think
like
so.
that.
Yeah, because this one very much looked French, like that kind of style.
It had like
kind of
like a sketchbook thing to the background.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Which means I guess the New York one's gonna be
dirty.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of dirty.
It's gonna smell like urine.
Beat the shit out of Mickey Mouse. Take his wallet.
So we definitely recommend you click the link in the info to go check that out. It is available to watch right now. And I'm glad we went on some good news. We went out from the movie section on some good news.
Yay.
Now we're going to take a quick commercial break before we get to the video games.
Oh boy, video games. Are you okay, Jake? What are you doing?
You guys want to talk about video games?
Well, this is the time of the show that we usually do. So
okay,
yes.
I didn't need smartness.
Well, are you implying that if we didn't want it, you wouldn't have talked about it?
You broke him.
All right, so why don't we follow up from last week? We talked about EA games and how they ruined SimCity, the new SimCity.
They really dropped the ball. They blew it.
Yeah. Well,
that was I've been reading up on it. Like it was disastrous for them.
It was designed to be designed to be a disaster.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it sucks. Bah.
So you're saying in EA Studios, there's like a board meeting with a whole bunch of people sitting at it, and they're saying, we're going to make this one a failure at the start.
It's going to be terrible. Ooh, stop. Whoa, stop.
And then
yeah.
I don't think that's true.
No.
Yeah, would you like to explain
the problem is that and a lot of people, including myself, aren't really into this. The core gameplay is focused around kind of forcing you to get involved in multiplayer. And to the point where it kind of limits how you play as a single player.
Not everybody has the internet 24/7.
So they're fixing it. Obviously, it's getting a little better. People are able to play it now. But the interesting thing is that someone actually hacked it and enabled it to be offline and play single player only, which EA says can't be done. Apparently it can, and everyone wants to just play by themselves.
So is that hack available online to do?
It kind of is. It's very hard to do, but
Jake,
it's public.
Jake's not saying it, kids, but it's online. You just Google it.
We'll see what EA is actually going to do with this. I wonder if they're going to be like, all right, let's change the whole game. Or if they're just going to be like, steal
Fine,
it.
hack it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we don't
Hack
care.
It Lies. Anybody know what that's from?
What?
Hack It Lies.
Hack It Lies?
Anybody?
Hack It. That's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wrong. Anybody?
Admiral Hackett.
Wrong. Anybody?
Foot. He said wrong already. He's like, no, I'm right.
Also, this is just another quickie. I'm just doing my job here.
Sexy.
There's a new Bioshock Infinite trailer, and it's supposed to be really good.
Not
watching it. Don't want to spoil it.
I was just about to say that. I saw the last trailer they released. I'm like, they're
like,
showing me a lot. I was
too
like,
much.
yeah. So I don't want to watch.
That
this
was
at
my
all,
face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. As soon as you caught my eyes, I had to stop. Where can we watch this trailer?
You can watch it on the internet.
Where?
Prettymuchit.com.
Cool.
So you guys know what LucasArts is, right?
Hell yeah.
The awesome guys that make Star Wars-ish games.
Yeah.
Well, before they made Star Wars games, they made awesome point-and-click games.
Now that there's the Disney Star Wars acquisition, LucasArts is kind of in jeopardy. Disney hasn't put out a game plan for them, and apparently people are getting fired left and right.
They're like, Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This sucks.
That's
not the news.
I was gonna say, I hope there's something else that's terrible, and that's it.
Sorry, guys.
And this all came out with also new information about a game they were working on. It was like a downloadable kind of Star Wars Battlefront type game where it was kind of like Call of Duty but with Star Wars characters. It would have made a friggin' a killing.
Butt ton is what I think the industry term.
Butt ton of butts.
And that is canceled.
That is pretty much canceled. Almost like
that's a shame.
Apparently, Disney doesn't want to move forward with any projects that were existing.
I also hear that LucasArts' Department of Animation is getting a complete rehaul. Like they're canceling the show they got out with the Clone Wars cartoon.
Done.
That's canceled. And they're changing everything. Is Star Wars 1313?
Star Wars 1313 is their one project that they've kept.
Because that one's far enough along, I guess, right? Yeah, that's already on the way.
This Star Wars Assault downloadable game that would have came out, I thought it would have been great because remember last year I was raving about Gotham City Imposters.
Yes,
which was basically Call of Duty but with goofy Batman stuff.
Right. Could have been the same thing.
I would love that.
But you don't get what you love.
You
Never happens.
Always get what you want.
Okay. I mean,
you don't know the rest of the words?
But if you try sometime...
I just didn't want to do that.
You find... You get what you need.
So this is some pretty cool news for me and probably a lot of other people
I'm
out
pretty
there.
pumped too. This is kind of obscure, but we're talking about good shit, so pay attention.
For mostly kids who grew up in the 90s are going to know this. This is a game from 1996 called The Neverhood, and it was made by the guys who made Earthworm Jim, and it had music by Terry S. Taylor, and he's great. Yeah. He makes music like acapella, like
so good.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like
right.
it fits perfectly to the whole style what they're doing. And the Neverhood was a point-and-click game, and it was all completely clay animation. The character was clay. The animations he moved was like actual movement they made.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All the backgrounds were like sets. It was all just like completely made for
That's
video
awesome.
game.
It's incredible.
So the news is that they're making a new game. And it's going to be all clay animation like the Neverhood was. Terry S. Taylor's coming back.
Ooh.
And but they did say that it's not the Neverhood 2 because that owns to the company that...
Oh, yeah, they don't have the
Oh,
rights
the
to it.
publisher still has the rights to that?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole new
it's
thing.
a whole new
Cool.
thing.
Do you care? I don't think you care. It's like the fact that it's not a sequel.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's great.
A project of theirs is
Yeah.
awesome.
Any word on when we'll see this thing or no?
I don't think so.
Probably not for a
I
while.
just saw this like on their official Facebook page.
And
They
considering how
announced it.
painstaking it's got to be to make.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's kind of an independent thing to do.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, yeah, so it'll be a little while.
Get pumped on that. Indie stuff.
Speaking of getting pumped on that indie stuff, let's talk about the poll.
Okay.
Last week's poll question was, who do you want Omar Sy, a black man, to play in X-Men Days of Future Past?
This
So
was a
it
no-brainer.
does sort of
Like-
automatically, because he's a black man, make you look at the black characters.
I wish I didn't think of saying this last
So
time.
we have, in third place, Black Professor X.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
that's a legitimate...
Like, there's an alternate timeline. He gets out like, I'm black, Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
And, like, his wheelchair is gold.
That's very stereotyped.
In second place, we have Morgan Freeman. So Omar Sy.
Omar
playing
Sy
himself.
playing Morgan Freeman
Yes, yeah.
in X-Men.
The
And he's
X-Men?
just like, he's just normal old Morgan Freeman, doesn't have any powers.
But it's
Just like-
Omar Sy. It's not actually Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
But he has the power of his voice.
Omar Sy doing an impression, I guess.
of Morgan Freeman.
That was pretty
That's
good.
interesting.
Definitely an interesting choice. It's kind of an interesting direction.
Yeah, I like it.
I kind of like the first place, though. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
In first place...
Make it happen.
It wasn't really a landslide, but still. Bishop.
I don't know who Bishop
Me
is.
neither.
Bishop's cool,
But he's
man.
black,
He's
right?
from the future.
Is he black?
He's cool. He's got a laser.
Is he black? Is
Yeah,
he
he's
black?
African-American,
Come on. All right,
yes.
that's all we need to know.
The only
You're sure he's from Africa?
The only future guy I know is Cable, right?
Cable and Bishop are like hand in hand. So
Really?
You'll be right at home.
Oh, okay. But what does Bishop do? What's his power? Go
What
on.
does Bishop from X-Men do? He doesn't do shit.
That was last week's poll question. This week's poll question is... Clark Gregg, obviously, is coming back as Agent Coulson in S.H.I.E.L.D., and Joss Whedon said that he is alive and well. It's not a flashback. We want to know, how do you think he comes back to life? Let us know by clicking the link down in the info to go to facebook.com/prettymuchit and vote in the poll. But that's it for this week's episode of Pretty Much It. Don't forget to go and check out the trailers, of course.
Talk about the trailers.
Talk about Kick-Ass 2.
Yes, we talk about all the trailers,
Yeah.
all the trailers that we think are worth talking about. Make sure you click that link down in the info. But as for now, as far as news goes, that's it.
The end.
Boom.
It's over.
Could have said
Done.
that's pretty much it.
Well, I will say that in just a
So
minute.
that
Why don't you
the
wait?
end.
First, we do a little bit of goofy banter before we actually get to that
Yeah,
point.
we do.
Yeah, you asshole.
But you know what? Now I'm not even feeling... Do you even feel like doing it anymore?
No.
That's pretty much it.